my point mostly was that in a year's time, we want to get this platform to a point where we are only generating money from fees and other people are actually able to create their own markets and market make on those markets. So like we want to get to a point in a year's time, maybe less, hopefully, where there's so many users there that they're able to make the markets themselves, they're able to fund it themselves, and we just generate the fees. Whew, what a day. How are you feeling, man?
Great, dude. Fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah. Why is Mr. Dab not a speaker?
I have invited him. I think he's just getting prepared and ready.
Anyways, we're definitely growing for obvious reasons. Mr. Dab is a part of that, a big part of that. So hopefully he figures out his shit and joins us as speakers so we can grill him about Mulberry markets.
Dab is up. The dab is here.
Hello, you hear me, guys?
Loud and clear. Are you the only verified speaker here? Wow, this dude's crossing his T's and dotting his I's.
I think we're going to start off with the market. So if you guys have questions, come up and ask, or I guess you can also ask us in the Discord as well. Well, I mean, let's first, Adab, how are you feeling after your first launch?
All right, so this is actually Adab's second launch ever. For his age, that's like incredible. For you guys that were following along, like, yeah, you know, I don't know if the yeses have been turned into no's yet. There's some typos and formatting issues, but the core functionality is there. It was there from the very beginning. Like, there was no critical bugs that I could find, just lots of aesthetic stuff, which he's been grinding out diligently. And probably the thing that impressed me the most, that I was most skeptical about, that I think hopefully we people who are like warning us about this and said they would come on, was the actual algorithm that he found. Because, you know, anytime you have like any kind of market, like we've experienced with GigaDEX, like there's a cold start problem. There's supply and demand. You need makers. You need people to put money on the books. That way retail or wherever else can come in and take the other side of the trade. This is just as true for prediction markets as anything else. But he found this relatively novel, it's like a derivative of an AMM. It's called like a logarithmic scoring rule. And it's fucking brilliant. I didn't even believe it at first until I did the simulations myself. But basically it has two properties which I absolutely fell in love with. The first property is it solves the cold start problem. So the first people into the market are guaranteed a 2x if they win, like period. You don't need any active market makers there. And the only thing you need to guarantee that is a capped amount of seed money, which is actually very small. You can tune a parameter with the version of the algorithm we started with. We're starting with B equals 100, so you only need to put in like $70, and the first few orders you put in, you can still 2x it. So the B determines, you know, how quickly the price changes with volume. There's a lot more I could say on this. I probably should like wait for questions and understand what I said so far. Dab, bro, okay, he's up again now. Say some shit about Mulberry and what got, like, why Mulberry, why prediction markets, what inspired you to work on this instead of something else, or I can answer for you.
Hey, Dab.
Yeah, my very unlucky mind. Shading the bad now, but I guess a bit better now. But yeah, sorry for interrupting, Alpha. You can continue. What?
No, welcome back. Tell us, dude, how are you feeling? Like, tell us more about Mulberry and why you decided you wanted to do that.
All right. I was going around playing these prediction markets. It all started with me being as a user. And there was no sufficient on-chain prediction market with like a good enough UX, and especially also I found myself having to sign 3 times to make a swap or whatever. So yeah, it started as a side project at first, and it was for the only possible Solana hackathon, to be honest. But then, yeah, after some talks with Alpha and Belac, decided to make it into a sub-DAO, and yeah, get everyone in GigaDAO involved and benefit the loot boxes, nerds, our gigs holders. So this way, we spent a few days talking about like agreeing, like making the terms and everything. And now Mulberry, yesterday, it was introduced for the first time after around 2 weeks of development. And yeah, so this is the story of how Mulberry started, why I started it. So yeah, guys.
Nice. And just to summarize for everyone, he was enjoying prediction markets, saw that there wasn't a good on-chain version of it, and he built his own in a week. Like, the guy is goated, and congratulations, man. It was a good launch. Obviously, there's still some UI UX stuff to go on, or UI stuff to go on, but the core functionality works, and that's what's most important. So we're just going to keep pushing it. We need to start getting markets daily, 24-hour markets. Like, that's what people want. Take our money, guys. Have fun with it.
All right, thank you, Belac. And also, I will be launching at 24 market hours starting from after this space. So yeah, if you would like to be notified about new markets, claim your Mulberry rule to be paying about new markets and be first. And yeah, as Belac said, take our money.
Because yeah, it's important. We're putting up the money for these markets.
Can I step in there? Because
sure,
we had questions in the Discord about like, how's this going to be profitable? Like, how is it good for users if I can only vote 400, blah, blah, blah. So like, I had a lot of issues with this at first. Like, I pushed back and I grilled ADAB for a while, and he totally won me over at the end of it, which I honestly wasn't expecting. Like, the core tenets of the thesis were, like, there's definitely a demand for this. Poly markets does a lot of volume and makes a lot of money. So the prediction markets, binary prediction markets, like, they're a real thing and they're easy for people to grasp. And as long as you get good content, so as long as you put predictions and markets that people actually care about that are topical, then you can attract interest and you can attract volume and you can make fees and stuff. But the next part that kind of worried me is, like, you guys are saying, take our money, and it's like, that is true in a very limited sense. Like we have to seed each of these markets. It's not very much with the current parameters, but we only lose money if everyone votes to one side, right? If we choose votes that are like contentious, that swing back and forth, then you get, as a trader, more opportunity to get better deals, right? If everyone just votes like yes immediately, then the price goes up. But if they start voting no, then the price goes down. So then you have another opportunity for 2x or 3x. And the more those swings happen, the more likely we are as market makers to profit. And obviously the profit goes to GigaDAO. And that's just with the most basic version of the algorithm. So ADAB was really smart. He did something that I wouldn't have done, which he was like, let's take the real minimum of this. It's not optimized. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles and parameterization that you can find in the literature, but it's the fastest to get deployed. But what's clear is that as we get more data, we can tweak the algorithm so that we make more money as market makers without compromising user experience.
I think as well, like, part of that is with proper voting infrastructure, there's an opportunity for, as the platform expands, we can't just be the only market makers and the only people making markets. So as we do move into gaining more traction and acquiring more users, they will also have the opportunity to make their own markets. And I think maybe later down the line that'll be possible, but for at least in the first hand, you'll be able to suggest and earn from that. But yeah, I think the baseline is that one day that people will be able to market make themselves on markets to get approved. Way later down the track though, right? Like, that's the plan, Alpha. Am I wrong?
I mean, if you want it, I literally spent the day implementing that. So if you want it, like, I did all the voting infrastructure. If you want it to directly create on-chain proposals, I can have it done in like 2 days.
No, we're not ready to do that. Like, we will be ready to do that one day, but we need to test it first, make sure it's perfect, and then give the opportunity to other people to market make on markets.
Yeah, so I mean, that's why I think we might have different ideas of market make. Like, we can still be market making, but the person who proposes a high, like ADAB's idea was every week, whoever has the highest volume market, they get the fees from it. So we incentivize people.
Yeah.
To not do market making per se, but to do some research and figure out what is going to get volume, what people care about. The thing that struck me about this, the prediction markets idea, is how content oriented it is and how labor intensive that could possibly be. But obviously, like, we have a whole community at our disposal. So if we provide like a profit opportunity for them to do research and propose markets and then reward them according to the volume that those markets generate, then for me, that's like the best growth hack. So
I just want to fix, like, we don't have a community at our disposal. We have a community that will help strengthen us to succeed so they can also succeed with us. Disposal is not a good word.
I mean, I feel like it goes both ways. I feel like I am like I'm the janitor. Like I use that sort of mutually, like.
Yeah.
I also I slip sometimes, but that's what Belec's here for.
For sure. That's what I do. It's my part-time job at GigaDAO. My point mostly was that in a year's time, we want to get this platform to a point where we are only generating money from fees and other people are actually able to create their own markets and market make on those markets. So like we want to get to a point in a year's time, maybe less, hopefully, where there's so many users there that they're able to make the markets themselves, they're able to fund it themselves, and we just generate the fees, right? That's the goal.
Yeah, okay. So this is why we have spaces, though. Like, there's no pressure, but I would love either in DMs or on Discord, or if anyone wants to jump up and kind of help us get the temperature of the room, because I have a certain assumption, and it could be totally wrong. My assumption is that the hardest part about making Mulberry a success is consistently finding prediction markets that people care about. And I don't think that like Adeb and Belac have the bandwidth to do that. I know that I don't. But for me, it seems like a really obvious solution where it's like, why don't we just let people propose them, let people vote on them with gigs, and let people profit from the fees if they vote correctly. And so I'm just going to say one quick bit. Like, it's been Belac's dream for a long time to have kind of this like everything app. And today I drafted the interface for it, and Belac created all the fucking icons. I don't know how, I don't know when they're going to see the first screenshot for that, but it looks pretty fucking cool. And I've got all the infrastructure for it. It's all my parts of pure Rust, but also like the icons for Mulberry and GigaDEX, like those link out. But the point is, you go to this place and you've got like, it's just an app store. Like, I literally looked at my iPhone and my Android and I was like, oh, we should just do that. And so that's what the design is. And one of the first things that I implemented was a gigs voting system that I figured, hey, like this could be a key accelerator for Mulberry. Because if people care, people are willing to spend like, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes a day, like just picking what they think is going to be the most volume traction gaining bet, and then they get the prize pool from it, then they're doing the work for us and they get paid and we all win. But I could be wrong about that. So if anyone wants to come up and correct me.
No, it's good. Keep doing it. Keep building it out. The dashboard's awesome. I love that. It's something that I wanted like 6 months ago, and it's finally getting made. Everyone's going to be happier for it. The gigs voting, we've needed that for so long. So yeah, the idea is that you guys will be able to put up markets, suggest them, they can be voted on, and then obviously it's at our discretion while we're still in beta. But I think, Adab, your idea was the market that gets the most volume for the week wins the fees of that market. Is that right?
Yeah, so the idea was we make a voting system where users can propose the market, and like our DAO members would have a say if they want this market or not. So we have like 5, 6, 7 markets or whatever, and then at the end of the week it might be bi-weekly, but anyway, at the end of that period, we look into the markets, which one had the most volume, and that one is the winner. And the user that proposed that market gives the fees from the market that they proposed. So yeah, like users would want to have great markets and they win, they bring the most volume, and yeah, everyone is aligned, I guess.
And that can be a really good incentive if that market gets volume as well. So that's cool. I like that. I definitely think that that's a leaderboard that we should put in GigaRank as well. It'd be cool to be able to visualize that, and people can actively track where their market is at, what their volume is. So I'm definitely going to map that out and try and make that a leaderboard for our ranking system as well.
Yeah, for sure. It would be great. GigaRank is going to be legendary for sure.
Agree. That's a very strong agree. Ada, have you read I'm calling it the GigaRank Bible. Belly just wants to call it GigaRank, but it's already a Bible for me. Have you actually read the docs?
Oh, actually, yeah, I skimmed through them, to be honest, but yeah, there are too many details. I did not get 100% of it.
Dude, I literally printed it out. I have it in front of me right now. Like, when I saw the table of contents, and don't get me wrong, like, Belly's generated a lot of documentation that I've just skimmed, but I've been saying ever since like the failed scum mint that like we need gamification. We went straight to raid game after that, right? So it's like I always felt strongly that gamification would be a big factor, that like, you know, it's just the ranks and the points and the dopamine hits, and it all adds up, and there's like the social status of just and there's like he came with the whole perk system, and like anyways, Belac came up with like an elegant architecture to unify all the products that we're working on, which we'll probably talk about specifically during the rest of the space, into a single gamified point system that get you all sorts of benefits and, obviously money, and hopefully result in what my core thesis is for GigaDAO. Like, all of our products are oriented around encouraging efficient capital allocation. So like, I don't know if that comes off as like fucking too like pretentious or anything, but like what I see the big problem with crypto is that people got accustomed to making money off like cash grabs and pump and dumps, and they got lazy and they stopped doing due diligence, and they just, like, when they invested real money in mints or whatever, they didn't actually check if the founders were gonna build a sustainable, product or service that generates revenue in the long term. And I believe that if enough of us do just that, then we'll get another bull market sooner. And the trick to it is not forcing it down people's throats, turning it into a video game. And that's what Belac figured out. So that's why I was so fucking happy.
And it's something that we've been talking about since the very beginning. Like, the first thing we did during that mint was we need to impress these guys. And the first thing you did was, let's gamify engagement. And some may say we probably should have continued on with raid game at that time, but I say fate had a different turn for us, and we didn't. We did it when we needed to do it, and it saved our ass. But we've been talking about it since the very beginning. So like, it's a document that I wrote and I researched about it, but a lot of it is based on the conversations Alpha and I have had for like the last year and a half in gamification, how we're going to make it work. And I think that, like, from a marketing perspective, it's going to be so much easier for me to sell, because imagine getting up on a space. We've got so many different technologies and products, and I've got to like mention every single one of them. We've got this DEX, we've got this prediction market, we've got DAO infrastructure. That's going to be difficult. But from a marketing perspective, I can actually get up on a space and say, we have GigaRank. On GigaRank, it links to a DEX, it links to prediction markets, it links to this, but you're gonna have an ecosystem where you're being actively rewarded for everything that you're already doing now. And because we have all of this infrastructure, it just makes it even more perfect, because everyone's experience is different. And you might be a trader, you might be a bettor, you might be more involved with voting, there's a lot of different aspects that come into it that you can get involved in as an individual. And we've kind of mapped out the infrastructure for the gamification to also include that in there. So that we're redoing the smart contract for GigaRank. We're upgrading it. We're including perks. Our perk system basically will allow you to benefit from things that you enjoy more. So, you know, you might be a trader. You can use GigaDEX to swap your soul, which is pretty much all I do. You guys should be doing it too to support us, but that's fine. But if you're just a trader, then as you increase in your level, you'll probably want to select perks that help you trade more efficiently, you know, discount on fees, increase on rebates, a lot of things like that. Whereas if you are playing mostly the prediction market, you probably want perks that help you there. Maybe there's a decrease in fees, maybe you get access to early markets, or maybe you get access to some kind of revenue share pool that comes from certain technologies that we have. So the perk system is really good, and I'm glad we can also put that on chain. Like the GigaRank tech itself is beautiful. Everything's going to be on chain. I think it's probably going to be one of the first gamified on-chain technologies on Solana, where your experience points, your perks, your perk points, it's all on chain, and no one can change that. No one can do anything to ruin that for you. So fuck the point system that everyone else is doing. We're putting your points on chain. It's going to be experience. You're going to earn levels, ranks, perks, and you're actually going to benefit from it, because we can put in any perk we want. You know, if we decide to sweep 50 nerds, wink wink, we can list them on there, and you can get 35% off a nerd when you hit level 4. You know, you have opportunities like that where you're going to benefit from it. And also access to revenue share pools, which you're going to add in there too, which is going to be fun. So I'm pretty happy about the GigaRank. For me, marketing this project can be quite difficult. Someone's calling me, sorry. For me, marketing the project can be quite difficult because there's so many different technologies, and it's a little bit scary. But with GigaRank, I think I'll be able to do it perfectly. I think I'll be able to sell it really well, especially to the Solana ecosystem. Because they love that stuff, and so do I. It's why I got into Solana. Everything was so cheap. NFTs were gamification in itself of assets. So yeah, it's going to be a good time. Prediction market is also perfect to go into that. And yeah, like I'm so glad ADAB came up with that idea and built it out. Like I think it's a godsend, if anything. So we're pretty happy. Like we're all very excited. I am going to steamroll GigaRank to be ready for next month. We've got an architecture document being done by Monday, and then we just build out the rest of the smart contract, and then everything else is actually quite easy. It's just front-end stuff. And we have a top-notch front-end guy who's going to do that for us as well. So we're pretty excited about that. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing on the team right now, which is really interesting. But we're doing it in a way that's far more efficient than what we used to do. Now that we do have a stable DEX, and we actually have an update coming out this week, which is like, I think 9 seconds faster than what the current version is. So we're going to have a stable DEX by next week. We're going to have DEX v3, including mobile, deployed before breakpoint. GigaRank is going to be deployed. We're going to have season 1, I think, starting next month. Prediction market is up. We've got our DApp dashboard currently being built, which looks super sick, and I'm very happy it's happening. I've been waiting 6 months for it. What else do we have? We got hedge fund as well. Obviously, our market making algo.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how we're gonna roll that out, but that's what
I know exactly.
All right, you know exactly how we're gonna roll it out. So just to be clear, what Belac really wants is he wants people to recognize him at break. Okay. So the goal is that by the end of October, we have enough notoriety in the space that he needs no introduction.
I've written down my goals on my whiteboard. My short-term goal is deploy all update versions of our services under GigaRank in 6 weeks. Midterm goal is get recognized at breakpoint for making such a huge impact with GigaDAO. And long-term goal is make Alpha 100 mil so he can make me live forever. That's the plan. That's all I'm seeing right now. There's a one very straight road ahead. It's going to take a lot of work, but we're going to get there.
Yes, sir. We're going to get there. Yeah, again, like, you know, I mentioned this in my post for anyone who read it, but ADAB was first out the door, you know. Like, he's got the killer instinct. He does things in the most efficient way possible. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I take my time to spool up. I'm a late bloomer. I come up from behind. I win in the end. but you know, ADAB's definitely special, and you definitely won this round for sure, and we all benefit from it. That's very, very clear. I could tell that it energized the DAO. I was getting fucking DMs for people wanting gigs and stuff, and I was just like, okay, like, you know, shipping is worth a lot. I was very energized by that, very inspired by that. And dude, fuck, I don't even know when to start. Like, the next thing to talk about. I guess I'll just go with the next thing on my mind, which is, you guys have probably heard about Titan. Titan is our leveraged swaps. One of our biggest investors in GigaDAO is my former hedge fund partner, who's still consulting for us. Some of you saw me posting about how inefficient Orca and other DEXs were. So we're like, all right, we need to fucking pick up these fees. It turns out that if you want to do market making on a spot exchange as opposed to perps, you need to do real hedging, proper hedge fund. Because like, you can have, you know, like $10,000 in SOL and $10,000 in USDC, and you can be making money on spreads and fees, but your P&L is just going to be dominated by the fluctuations in the price of SOL. So if you have a matching short on SOL, it totally neutralizes the effect of those fluctuations. You're market neutral, and all your profit comes from spreads and fees. So what we decided to do was just go ahead and tune up Titan for internal use, and that's what Gauntlet's being for used right now. Just the hedge fund and Titan and the market making bots. But Belac has plans to give everyone who wants access to that cash flow, an opportunity to get in.
It's a good opportunity too. I'm the Ponzi king. I strayed away from it for too long, but I got this. Well, we're going to pump bags again, guys. We're going to have a good time. The hedge fund's going to be really, really exciting as well, especially because it's a non-competitive market, right? From what we can tell, it should be quite easy to implement our base version.
Yeah, I mean, we've already implemented the base version. We just need to add in the hedging. So I guess that's a critical piece. But the beauty of it is that we've set it up so that anyone who's a potentially interested investor is going to get raw data. Like, all of our UI, like, I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but back in like December or something, when I initially completed like the first version of the DEX, I hated TypeScript. I'd done a bunch of stuff that I was like, okay, I can do an interface for this to do like quant market making, but I did in Python, which meant you had to like install it, and not many people install it, basically just Belac. But now I'm doing those interfaces all in Rust Wasm, which means it's just a website that you can just use your Phantom account to log into. And what that also means is that you guys can, like, you know, see the raw P&L, see the trades the bots are making. We're probably not going to give away like every little detail of the secret sauce, because then some other quant is just going to steal it. But at the very least, you'll have on-chain proof of the trades the bot's making to know that it's actually profitable, which is something you will not get in any other industry. I mean, like crypto hedge funds are built very different, just because the transparency you get out of the box is just on a whole nother level. And that goes, you know, that expands into many different areas, not just for auditability, but you can also see what your competitors are doing too, which we haven't even tried to do yet, but it's something that's down the line.
Yeah, I think the obvious mark is that if there was a competitor already doing it, you'd be able to see that. So I'm looking forward to it. I just wanted to re-invite anyone who wants to come up. we can talk to each other and get excited about stuff all night, and we can do it every week. It can just be us talking and being excited and having a good time. But I definitely love for people to come up and have a chat with us. You don't need to be shy. We want to talk to you, and we're all friends here. You know, I think this is more a community space than anything else.
Belac wants to talk to you. I'm on the fence.
Don't listen to him. He's being a jerk. He hasn't slept. He loves you deeply. I think Shaq had the question. I just want to circle back to Mulberry because I don't think we answered it properly, but Shaq's problem was that our capital is more protected using this algorithm, but it might cause friction with users if one side gets up to 400 votes. It basically prices them all out from joining in. So, I mean, how are we tackling that kind of feedback? Shaq actually just requested to come up, so let's see if I can get him up here, and he could probably ask us the question directly. Shaq, how are you doing, my friend? Are you here with us? You're on mute.
He was asking good questions in the Discord, so I'm gonna wait for him. I just approved him too, so I don't know if we all approved at the same time.
I think sometimes that can break it.
Well, Shaq, if you need to step down and come back up, we'll let you up again. But Bella, can you repeat what the last question was? Because I didn't fully understand it. Oh, he's here.
Can you hear me, guys?
We sure can.
Oh,
how are you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. It's
Nice.
good to have you up here. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, nice to finally talk to you all.
Shaq is the man that does the aggressive marketing for us.
Yeah.
I got a call with Solana Foundation because Shaq aggressively attacked Austin Panara on a tweet, which he mentioned on the call as well. So good job, man. Like you got me in there.
I just cannot stand when there's something, not right. Like I'm very truthful person, so to speak, and when I see there's something like hiding behind some biases and all that shit, I just can't stand it. So yeah.
I feel you, man, and I love you for it. You're the voice I need because I could never do that.
Well, I'm here for that. Well, yeah. Anyway, I had questions for the Mulberry thing. So this 400 vote limit, I really don't understand how that is going to be good for the entire project, guys. Because let's say, well, the ETF thing, right? For example, I'm sure that it's not going to be approved by the end of September, and I want to buy like 500 USD worth of the tickets, right? But if I do that, the price goes up to 0.85. Now, okay, let's say I did buy it for 0.85 per ticket, and then somebody else wants to join in. What can they do? They have to buy it for 0.85 as well, correct?
Yeah, I think ADAB is probably you should address this general algorithmic question first, but I also have a lot to say about it, so just let me know when you want me to step in.
All right, but yeah, you are correct. There's a limit to the liquidity. I mean, yeah, if you put 500, we can increase the liquidity if we want to, but it's going to be more of our capital at risk at first, all right? So the plan was that when we started out, it is not a ton of liquidity, we know. And we made it this way for people to have enough money to put in like a $50, $100 or something without the price going too high. But after it is out of the beta testing stuff,
we are going to make a lot of changes to the algorithm. Me and Alpha are going to be working on it to improve the liquidity that there is. All right. And yeah, make you, if you buy like $500, the price will not be 85, 89, whatever. It will be like maybe 60, 65. The prices obviously will need to change when you buy. But yeah, even like I have plans for the future to make it even a hybrid, which is going to be an AMM. And yeah, maybe like it will be an order book next to it. Maybe GigaDEX itself, we use the order book, and being hybrid between an AMM and an order book is going to provide a lot of liquidity and better prices and make everything more efficient. So yeah, like it is this way because it is still early on, but it is going to change.
Yeah,
It will not be this way for long.
I kind of understand the reasoning, like your reasoning behind it. For the start, at least. I to be like honest, it's like it's limiting. It's very limiting for people. I mean, like maybe somebody wants to bet $1,000 on it. Maybe somebody wants to bet $10,000 on it, and they can't right now. Like liquidity. So that's why, like what I thought was this like the crypto options, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, 1 minute trades. Like there's several platforms that I saw that are doing this, not on Sol, but on other chains. There's the Vision protocol right now that is coming up, if you've heard about that, which is like you go in there, you can like literally bet on 1 minute trades, like what's going to happen with Bitcoin price for the next minute, and you bet on it. And a lot of people are going to be losing there, and a lot of people are going to be winning there as well. But you know, there's going to be a lot of volume and a lot of trading fees that are going to be coming in from there that maybe can be used for other you know, general liquidity kind of stuff for that. But whatever goes on for a month, let's say, like the ETF thing or the Solana hitting like $20 by the end of the month, like what I thought, maybe you could make it make the price go up, say, let's say that it's like 30 days from today, right? So split that up in 100 pieces, and every single day increase the price by whatever percentage, let's say. And we could get the liquidity from those small
Big brain.
1 minute.
Big brain stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, from like those 1 minute trades are gonna drive the liquidity, and there's gonna be a lot of people actually betting on that, like $1, $2, $3, $5, like small trades, but it's gonna, you know, amount to something more significant. And the other thing, like long-term stuff, because like, I mean, otherwise it should be very hard types of predictions, you know, like ETF getting approved. I don't think that there's a lot of people who believe that it's going to be approved by the end of September. So here you're going to have most of the people voting for yes, right? There's going to be very few who's going to be voting for, there's going to be very few who's going to vote for yes, right? Unless something changes from the SEC like within weeks. So I don't know. It's just like the thoughts from the back of my head here, because like limiting people on the amount of tickets they can buy, it's not gonna scale. That's what I think, at least. I don't know.
Oh man. Okay. So Shaq, like I really hope you keep coming back to our spaces. Like you just added so much value. You basically realized or made me realize that we can apply the whole options framework to binary prediction markets and use all of that same math in order to tune the pricing in a way that doesn't limit upside. But I do want to defend what we have now, because there's some subtleties there that I'm not sure that like are fully understood.
Mm-hmm.
So to be clear, like with the version that's currently deployed, yeah, like it's not limited to 400 votes. It's limited to 400 votes if they're all in one direction, and that's still pretty bad, especially if it's an ETF thing where it's not a well-chosen market and it's basically unanimous, right? That's like the worst case scenario, and that's kind of what, like, why we chose to be conservative to start out with. But variations on a very similar algorithm, just adding a few parameters. So, like, I'm gonna make this very clear, okay? So right now, like, the price of a ticket on Mulberry only depends on how many people have bought yeses and how many people have bought nos. It doesn't matter what order they bought the sequence. It doesn't take into account if it's trending one way or trending another way. And that is a very, like, trends like are very, very common in any market in general. People follow trends. And so, like, some of the elaborations of the baseline algorithm that we're using exploit trending and exploit moving average ratios in order to improve the price efficiency for the trader, and at the same time make more money for the market maker. But what you're describing, like with a hybrid options approach, to be honest, I'd have to do a bunch of research there, and I'm really tempted to just like jump on Wikipedia after this call. Really interesting stuff, dude. Really appreciate your input.
Yeah, sure, man. Sure. Like, I don't know. That's just what like popped in my head right out of that, you know. And regarding like the people can offer different markets and then get the fees from there, the ones that get approved. Like, isn't it gonna be better if, let's say, if I offer a market, right, about like who's gonna win the football match tomorrow, and if people like the idea and that market gets implemented, like, I don't think I should be getting all the fees from that. You know, maybe if my offer gets put out there, I can get, I don't know, 10% from the fees, and the rest goes to DAO, so that everybody.
So this guy wants less money, is what we're hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think like I should be getting all the entire fee. I should be getting, let's say, 10% off the fees for the person whose offer gets accepted, so to speak, and the rest goes to DAO, so that it's not only the people who are offering the markets getting the whole profit, so to speak, but everybody else as well. Because
so I mean, obviously that's like very selfless of you, and you know, and very sort of, maybe not just selfish. You're seeing the big picture, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be better.
You're man of the DAO. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's better for the entire DAO, right? Like,
but it was just the one market for that week, or that the either bi-weekly, or so it's the one market that gets the highest volume we were going to award fees to.
Yeah.
But if you want us to take that down, sure.
Yeah, I mean, 10% is good. I mean, it's like there's gonna be a lot of holders of nerds, of loot boxes, and a lot of, you know, who are not gonna participate in any of these things, and they should all, but they should also be incentivized to be the part of the DAO still, right, and to get some kind of exposure. I mean, there's like 1,000 people holders, and it's for what, like 25, 30, 50 people, 50 of us usually interacting with each other, right? Everybody else is like passive holder, but they should also be getting some kind of benefit still, just for having a nerd, let's say, or a loot box or gigs.
I have a feeling that what you're proposing is what will converge to in the long term. I just do want to make one point in defense of ADAB's instincts, which have proven very sharp. So, like, what you're saying, it has a lot of subtlety and it makes sense. But what struck me about ADAB's proposition is just like, the most important thing is that we get people to propose ideas, to do R&D and put them out there. And what's like the simplest mechanism for incentivizing that fast? Just give them the fees for the winning market. So even though you're right in the long term, like I really thought that I still believe that the idea that ADAP proposed, even if it's just over the first month, I feel like that'll get shit pumping.
And is there going to be a limit to how many markets can be put out there? Let's say, I don't know, because there can be insane amount of different ideas, right? Like we can vote on this.
Okay.
Is it going to rain tomorrow, or is it going to be whatever? Like we can do it. We can vote on literally anything, right?
Okay. Oh, sorry. Did you finish? Or yeah, you can go ahead.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So about different ideas that we will be bidding on, we are probably not going to be bidding on the ideas that are very niche. All right. We are going to look for markets that people want. So yeah, that's part of the reason why we went with the route that we did with incentivizing people who come up with ideas. All right. And like about how many markets we are going to have, we probably are not going to have a limit. But I believe at one time we will have like 100, 150 markets that are live on the website. And when we do, the website is going to look different. For now, it is not ready to have 100 websites on it, obviously. But I'm working on doing categories, like a different markets page where you can add filters and stuff. Like if you are interested in crypto, sports, politics, whatever it is. All right. So yeah, there's no limit, but we are going to make it easier to navigate between markets.
There's also going to be this this factor, so to speak, where people will suggest the ideas that they're going to think is easy to predict and to win, right?
Yeah, but it's a popular vote though, right? So they can suggest all the ideas they want, but they need a critical mass of other voters to think that that's a good idea. And a lot of this is undetermined. Like there is a little bit of difference in the opinions here. I personally believe that a more comprehensive solution would involve everyone who votes in, because they're all gigs holders. Everyone who votes in a market that gets the most volume should immediately have access to the prize pool for that, or access to a cut of those fees. That's just my opinion. Like this is not finalized yet, and it's a conversation. This is a DAO. Like the reason that I spent today working on a voting system is because I want to know what you guys think, because you guys collectively have way more information than any of us do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and also like this idea just came up right now. When somebody proposes an idea of a market, right, and people vote to implement it, what's going to happen is that those that vote, especially those that vote, they will want to buy the tickets. And if we have this limitation with the ticket thing, what's going to happen? I mean, we're going to get stuck, I think.
Okay, so I'm gonna probably force ADAP to have a call with me about options Greeks after this. You're gonna have to learn about strike prices and fucking deltas and stuff. But I'm shocked though. Like again. So you're right. Like fundamentally, what you're proposing can only make things better at the cost of some complexity. But if we're able to choose, like you said, hard predictions, ones that don't clearly go one way. Like ADAP was showing me charts for a bunch of predictions on poly markets where they just are cycling back and forth 5 or 6 times across the 50% line before they close. That's the kind of market that we really want to be choosing. That's the kind of market that if you vote for as a gigs holder, you're going to get a lot more volume.
Yeah.
and a lot more fees and a lot more prizes.
Yeah, I mean, it should not be obvious, right? I mean, let's if we stick to the ETF example, right? It is kind of obvious what's going to happen, and it's kind of obvious which vote everybody's going to put in this one, right? It's going to be 90%, maybe 100% no, and maybe there's going to be 1% who's going to say that it's going to happen by the end of September. And if we have this particular algo right now, even those who vote will not be able to buy the tickets because they're going to run out. Somebody's going to put in $400, and that's it. There's no more tickets, and there will be no votes, and it's going to turn into something like first come first serve, like whoever gets in first.
Yeah.
And this is not the
we're technically over time, but if you guys allow, I want to keep asking Shotflow questions because he's a treasure trove of knowledge. So let's say that we improve the algorithm, which is ADAP can tell you that's something I'm very interested in doing. But in principle, right, if you have a prediction that is one-sided, it doesn't matter what the algorithm is. It's still going to be one-sided.
Yeah.
And so the problem with our current algorithm is it immediately prices people out. It immediately sort of like limits engagement. Whereas a more organic market, like an options market, would just raise the prices, so you'd get like a lot of foolish people who would just pay premiums.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that as well.
Which is probably what we want, right?
Yeah, we don't want the we need hard markets. So hard to predict markets, so to speak. That's the way where it can go both ways. It cannot be most probably yes or most probably no. And I don't know how to regulate it.
We'll be thinking about it, and we'll be probably posting, polls and stuff, and we'll be asking you in chat, and I'm sure ADAB and I will be discussing how to fucking get this pumping, how to make the most money out of this product. So, it's going to be an iteration process, just like all startups.
Yeah, that's why what I thought about this Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and other things like 1 minute trades, like that thing is something that will definitely work in my opinion. And these other prediction markets that we will be able to suggest and implement, those can be kind of, I don't know, like bonuses or something where you get in fast if you want to profit, which is going to be more kind of obvious, than not. And I don't know.
Belac, are you hearing echoes of the idea that Michael proposed in this? Is Belac still alive, or did he already have girls over?
Both of those things. I was not listening for the last 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
God damn it. God, that's why ADAB and I are here. It's okay. He's on marketing. So, Shaklo, what I'm hearing is a very strong argument that if we just get people to bet on a low time scale on crypto prices, we're going to get a fuck ton of volume. And it's very straightforward. Yeah. And the funny thing is that the guy I mentioned earlier was telling us about Gains Network, which is on like Avalanche and Polygon, and they're doing something very similar. They have a very, very simple leverage model where it's just a single collateral, just DAI, and they have Forex, they have cryptos, they have equities, and they provide like 1,000x on everything. And so they just make hundreds of thousands of dollars a week because people wreck themselves. And it's a pretty good business model in general. We're going to have to think about it though. Like that's an extreme case. I'm definitely not taking your argument to like a very far short, but you're making some really good points that we're going to have to digest.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a lot of time that I'm devoting to thinking about, GigaDAO and the products that are going to be implemented here. And it's like, really, I'm really taking this project very, very seriously and to my heart, because I honestly believe that this is not just a regular NFT, some bullshit hype thing. It can become like the future of finance in general. And yeah, I'm glad if I can contribute even by a small part with it.
Oh, you've contributed more than a small part. I feel like I owe you money now. It's definitely past Belac's bedtime, though. I could keep talking forever, but he goes to bed at 9. Belac, how are you feeling about the situation?
I like it. I think that I hope ADAB was taking notes, because this is all on you, buddy. Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it is very interesting and needs some more studying. I even played with these games before, but back then on PancakeSwap, it was like Binance Smart Chain. Yeah, the good old days. But I will definitely do some research, and yeah, like definitely considering this one. Thank you for the ideas, by the way, and the feedback. Really appreciate it.
Sure, man. Sure. My pleasure.
And
Yeah,
Shaq, thank you for coming up. Thank you for supporting us. Love you. You've been here since the start of this year, and yeah, love that you came up here and gave us some insight and ideas. I'm all for it. We need more of that. You guys, everyone listening, Shaq is the perfect example of a strong DAO member, part of the team, all as one. So take notes, take lessons, and next week I expect someone else to come up and give us insights on what we could be doing better and how we could make you more money.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks again.
All right, so I guess I'm going to have to keep coding now. Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm going to snuggle up, and you guys are going to keep working. That's the deal.
That's always the deal, bro. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone who came. Like, it means a lot to us. I remember on my birthday, I got like fucking 50 happy birthdays from you guys, and I was just like so taken aback. And it just meant a lot, like we're dedicating our lives to this, literally. So it means a lot that you're here. And yeah, just, you keep showing up, we'll keep showing up, and we'll all make money together.
Perfect. All right, guys, let's wrap it up here. Thanks again for coming. Next week, we want to see you. I'm going to make some more announcements about GigaRank this week. Once we have the architecture doc up, we have a straight line forward. And that's the last piece missing, I think, at this point. So, 6 weeks, guys. We are going to be cranking on every single front. The team is working like a dream. I don't know. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's what we set out in the field. I know Truant hates that one, but that's how we roll. Guys, thank you very much. Thanks again. We're going to post this up on YouTube as well for everyone else to listen later. Those who are listening, love you, long time, and take it easy.